Good evening. My name is Matt Harper, and I am really sorry that I cannot be with you in person this evening. I hope this video message is able to articulate just some of the motivation and passion I have for what I'm speaking about. I really appreciate the time this evening. So, I work with an organization called White People for Black Lives. We do specific organizing in white communities, recognizing that white folks have a particular role to play in addressing situations and realities of racism. It's more complicated than that, but I hope that gives you a basic idea. We're part of a larger coalition, the Justice LA Coalition, which is working to address the reality that the LA County Board of Supervisors wants to expand its incarceration, expand its jails in Los Angeles County, and we are hoping to challenge that. So, long story short, the LA County Board of Supervisors intends to spend $3.5 billion to expand and redevelop LA County's jails. I want to lead you this evening in an exercise, so if you'll humor me for a moment, if you're comfortable, I'd ask that you close your eyes. I ask that you put down whatever's in your hands, pause whatever conversations you might be having additionally. Close your eyes and just be present to this consideration. We're going to do some imagining this evening, some imagination, and I think it will be fruitful. So thank you for your participation, if you're comfortable. I want you to think of someone in your family or community who needs help. If you have a child struggling with behavior issues at school, I want you to think of them. If you have a niece or nephew or a neighbor struggling with addiction, I invite you to think of them. If you have a cousin whose mental health impacts their ability to function or thrive in our society, I invite you to bring them to your mind. If there's a classmate of your child whose home life is maybe somewhat abusive, I invite you to bring them into your thoughts. If you have a neighbor who lost their job, or a coworker whose own or whose family's medical needs are not fully covered by the insurance that they have and therefore are at risk for homelessness, I invite you to think of them. What do these people need? What support would they benefit from receiving? These are just some of the realities that can make us vulnerable. And sometimes that vulnerability can lead to incarceration, can lead to houselessness, can lead to any number of complex realities. If someone came up to you today and said, where would you invest $3.5 billion to try to help these vulnerable communities? Where would you invest it? Where do you see there's room for greater support to these communities? I invite you to open your eyes and allow me to give you just a little bit of background and history. So between 2014 and 2016, the LA County Board of Supervisors decided to expand and redevelop LA County jails. They wanted to turn a women's facility and retrofit it into a men's facility. They wanted to turn a former detention center for undocumented immigrants into a new women's facility in Mira Loma. And they wanted to tear down Men's Central Jail and redevelop it into the CCTF, the Consolidated Correctional Treatment Facility for people struggling with mental health, a mental health jail, if you will. 5 County Board of Supervisors decided to allocate $2.2 to $3.5 billion towards this project. Simultaneously, they chose to invest $20 million into the Department of Diversion, keeping people out of jail in the first place, and reentry, supporting them when they come out of jail. We could spend $20 million to support people before and after incarceration, but $2.2 to $3.5 billion to incarcerate them. They chose not to listen to the will of the electorate. They had no input from county voters. They made this decision on their own through the interests of private companies and corporations. LA County incarcerates the most people, and the state that incarcerates the most people In the country that incarcerates the most people in the world, we have an unfortunate history. When Alex Villanueva was elected as sheriff, it was on a platform that stood against these types of jails. He said, folks struggling with mental health need and deserve a mental health facility. He said, I don't buy into that jail mental health thing. It's just another jail. It's putting lipstick on a pig. And since then, he has stood by that and demanded that the LA County Board of Supervisors consider alternatives to these types of incarceration. Well, a few weeks ago, we had a major victory. In the Mira Loma jail, the women's facility was shut down. The County Board of Supervisors decided not to go forward, that this was not what we needed to support our women struggling with incarceration. I'm really grateful for that, and I hope you feel as excited as I am for that. But this coming Tuesday, February 12th, at 10:30 a.m., the County Board of Supervisors have coordinated a second vote, a vote that says, should we go forward with this mental health jail? They did not have to bring this vote forward. They had already approved it, but they've chosen to engage it again. This is a huge opportunity for Los Angeles to shut down the largest jail operation in the country. If they vote no, if 3 of the County Board of Supervisors vote no on Tuesday, we will have successfully closed the largest jail project in the history of this country. That's something to be really excited about. So if you're free, I invite you to join us. We're going to meet at 10 a.m. in front of the County Board of Supervisors in downtown Los Angeles to collectively to say, we do not want a jail for folks struggling with mental health. There are so many alternatives to how we can spend that money to make sure people do not get into jail in the first place. We need you there. And if you can't be there, I urge you to call your County Board of Supervisor every day up until that date so that when they walk into that room, they know without a doubt that their constituents say, no, not in my name, not in my community. Their numbers are easily accessible, but if you have any questions for this or for this larger campaign, please know I am available. My phone number is 818-590-1085. My email is mattharper818@gmail.com. I'm here to be as supportive as I can and sad that I cannot be there in person, but know that I hope this is something your collective can get behind, because the history of our country, the history of our county, the history of our community is not going to be determined by how many people we incarcerate, but rather by how many people we help heal. So thank you. Thank you for your time. Sorry again that I cannot be there, but know we have a huge opportunity ahead of us, and if we can do this, we will have made history, and we will have changed the lives of so many people in our communities. So thank you for your support, and have a great evening.